welcome back to Tribe's Yoga channel. Today's flow is all about strengthening the back, the abdominals, and the leg muscles to help ease lower back pain. We'll also work on strengthening the knees to help with our balance. Go ahead and grab your mat and I'll meet you over there. We'll begin in Child's Pose, Balasana. So coming down onto your mat, we want to bring those knees in line with the hips. Oftentimes we start with Child's Pose with the knees wide apart, but if you are experiencing lower back pain, I highly recommend keeping your knees in line with your hips. And then walking the arms forward and extending those arms so that you can rest the forearms down. And if the forehead doesn't easily meet the mat, you can go ahead and grab a block and place it underneath the forehead. Taking some deep breaths, expand across the back body in between the shoulder blades, and sending that breath into the mid body and all the way down into the lower back and hips. With each inhalation, expanding, creating room and space in the body. And every exhalation, letting go of anything that's no longer serving you today. Deepening the inhalation, lengthen the exhalation. And within that balance of breath, I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. Fixing that intention in your mind's eye. Take a deep breath in, pausing the breath at the top. And allow the breath to release with a sigh. From here, sliding the hands back a little bit, we'll press into the floor, rounding the back in cat pose, really pressing the floor away, tucking the chin towards the chest. On your next inhalation, soften the elbows, press your heart through, and allow the belly to drop, but not losing any integrity in the belly. Keep the lower belly lifting up slightly to support the lower back. We're just beginning to stretch the front of the body, lifting the heart through the shoulders. Take another breath in. And on your next exhalation, rounding the back once again. Keeping this shape, go ahead and set the sit bones back and wide into your Child's Pose. And again, we'll inhale, rounding the back, coming up through cat pose. Inhaling, press the heart forward, lift the gaze. And exhaling, rounding the back once again. And pressing back into Child's Pose. We'll take one more cycle of that. On your next breath in, round up through cat. Exhale, press the heart through, lift the gaze. And rounding the back one last time. Set it back into Child's Pose. Returning to tabletop, you can take your block off to the side. And if you want to pad the knees here, you can slide a blanket underneath the knees. Extending the right leg long and the left arm forward. So once we're in this shape, this is called tiger pose, we want to make sure that that lower belly doesn't kind of dump downward. So engage that lower belly, press forward and back through the right foot, the right heel, and reach the left fingertips. Take a breath in. On your exhalation, hug the knee in towards the elbow, round to the upper back. Inhale, reach forward and back, extend, keep that lower belly hugging in. Exhale, draw everything in towards the center. We'll take one more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, re-extend, release your left arm down. Come onto the right foot, planting it down like you would in a warrior two pose. Angle your left knee back for a kickstand. And coming into supported side plank. Lift your right leg parallel to the floor. Reach your right fingertips overhead. So the right bicep is over the right ear. Anytime we are experiencing low back pain, we want to strengthen the muscles in the back so that when we are slouching or when we're not creating support for our back, those strong muscles will say, hey, this isn't working. So let's go ahead and work on strengthening those back muscles. Re-extend the right leg, right bicep over right ear. Take a breath in. On your exhalation, hug the elbow in towards the knee, right in the center, right in front of you. Inhale, re-extend forward and back. And again, exhale, bring it in. Last one, inhale, re-extend forward and back. Exhale, bring it into the center, squeeze and contract. Inhale, re-extend. Float the right foot down. Right hand touches down. We'll turn to face the front of the mat once again. Bring the right knee in, walk your hands forward. And coming into a diagonal plank. So we want the hips in front of the knees, shoulders right over the wrists. Take a breath in. On your exhalation, keep the elbows aligned over the wrists as you lower partway down. Set the hips, belly button, chest down onto the floor. If that blanket is bugging you, you can move it off to the side. We'll use it later. Sliding your forearms out in front of you for Sphinx pose. So here in Sphinx, our elbows are underneath the shoulders. And we're pressing actively down through the forearms, peeling the lower belly off of the mat, lifting the heart forward, keeping the chin parallel to the floor. Press down actively through the hips, the upper thighs, and the tops of the feet. So the whole body is pretty much engaged here. What we don't want to do is kind of soften down into it, and that will tax the lower back. So we want to make sure that all the muscles are engaged. Continue to lift the heart forward, shoulders down out of the ears as you press actively down into those forearms. Now from here, we're going to keep active through the hips and work on the glutes. So we're lifting up the right leg, any amount. It doesn't have to be very high at all, just as long as we're engaging that right glute. And begin to find little tiny pulses here. And again, check in with the lower back. Keep pressing down through the hips, down through the forearms. A few more of these little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause here. And release. Just relax a little bit, soften everything down. And we'll move to the other side, the other leg. So again, pressing down through the forearms, down through the hips, and lifting the left leg this time. Again, doesn't have to be super high, but feeling that engagement in the left glute. Go ahead and begin to pulse. Little tiny pulses here. Again, the leg doesn't have to be really high here. Keep supported through the rest of the body. And then we'll take 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause at the top and let it go. Moving into our Sphinx twist. Take your right forearm parallel to the top edge of the mat. Left hand comes over here next to the left side of the rib cage. Keep the hips squaring down, especially that left hip. Press down through the right forearm, looping the left shoulder up towards the sky. So this brings the twist in the upper part of the back. And if you want to add on here, you can bring your gaze over the left shoulder if your neck's feeling okay with that today. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, unwind over to the other side. Left forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Bring your right fingertips over here on the right side of the rib cage. Loop the right shoulder up. Keep the right hip squaring down to the floor. And again, if you want to, you can bring your gaze over the right shoulder. Slowly unwind, coming back through center and lowering all the way onto the belly. Bring your hands behind the shoulders, Loop the shoulders onto the back, hug those elbows in. Take a breath in, peel the chest up off of the mat, baby cobra. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale, lift up any amount. Exhale down, last one. Inhale, lift up, maybe hover the hands here a couple of inches so that we're really asking the back muscles here to do the work and we're not pressing ourselves into this pose. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, lower down. Tuck the toes under. And we're gonna reverse that push-up that we just did earlier. So pressing the arms straight and returning into our tabletop pose. If you'd like to move through a couple of cat and cows here, go ahead. And neutralizing the spine, preparing it for the other side. So this time the left leg will extend and the right arm will reach forward. Again, check in with the lower belly. We don't want to do one of these things. Keep that lower belly engaged. Take a breath in. On your exhalation, bring the elbow in towards the knee, right underneath you. Inhale, re-extend, forward and back. Exhale, draw everything into the center. Inhale, re-extend. Last one, exhale. Inhale, reach forward. Bring the right hand down, touch the left foot down, angle that right leg back for our side plank, our supported side plank. From here, lifting the left leg parallel to the floor, left bicep over left ear. Inhale. Exhale, bring the elbow to the knee, curl into the center. Inhale, re-extend, forward and back. Exhale, bring it in. And again, reach forward, keep the lower belly firm. Last one, exhale. Inhale, return through center. Turn the left hand down, face the front of your mat. Lower the left knee down. Walk your hands forward, returning to diagonal plank. Elbows remain over the wrist, take a breath. Exhale, lower part way. Hips, belly button, chest meet the earth. So same as before, sliding your forearms forward into Sphinx pose. Bring your hands into fists here, really actively engaging the arms, pressing down. If you have a block, you can do the same here by pressing in towards the block and really gripping that block like you're trying to drag the block in towards your belly. If you don't have a block, that's okay. We're just doing the same thing here. So dragging the fist back towards you, peel the lower belly off of the mat, lift the heart forward. Again, the rest of the body is engaged. Press down through the hips, the upper thighs, the tops of the feet. I'm getting into the neck here. So everything is engaged. Drop the chin to the chest. Roll the right ear to the right shoulder. Drop the chin through center, left ear to left shoulder. And continue to move here, just rocking the head from side to side. Take a few more, make sure everything's engaged. Beautiful, come back through the center, soften here, let it go a little bit. And we'll come back through center for our Sphinx twist. So take your right forearm, you're parallel to the top edge of your mat. Left fingertips come to the left side of the rib cage, just like we did before. So you can stay right here, continuing to press down through the right forearm, looping the left shoulder onto the back. If you want to add on a little extra here, you can bend at the left knee, reach around for the foot, and gently press the heel down towards the left glute. Continue to lift up and out of the right shoulder. Keep breathing into the belly. Take one more breath. And release. Other side. Left forearm parallel to the top edge of the mat. Right fingertips over here to the right side. Keeping the hips squared. Again, you can stay here or bend at the right knee. Press down to the top of the foot. And get that quad stretch. One more breath, inhale. Exhale to unwind. Come all the way down onto the belly. Bring the backs of the hands onto the mat so the palms are facing up. Take a breath in, peel the chest up off of the mat, lift your hands up as well. It's like you're giving the ceiling a high five as you peel the heart forward. Exhale, roll it down. Few more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to lower. Last one, inhale, lift. Staying here, maybe add the legs into the mix. If this doesn't feel good, go ahead and release them down. Another option is to widen the legs into a wider straddle. Keep lifting up, strengthening those back muscles. Beautiful, and release everything down. Hands come alongside the rib cage, press back into a child's pose. Take a few deep breaths here. From child's pose, lift up into tabletop pose, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips up into downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels here, rock the hips from side to side. Taking a deep breath in, soften the knees, soften the elbows, and as you exhale, step your feet up to the top of your mat, forward fold. I'm just holding. Staying here for a few breaths. You can grasp opposite elbows here. Notice how my knees are really bent. I'm not working towards pressing the knees straight. We want to be really gentle for the lower back. So keep those knees soft. And then just letting the head hang heavy here, shaking the head yes or no. And releasing the hands back to the floor. If you have a block handy, go ahead and grab it. Take a deep breath into ground. As you exhale, press into the floor. Take your block with you as you roll all the way up to standing. Now taking the block and bringing it in between the thighs. We're working our adductor muscles here. Adductor muscles are the inner thighs that help bring the legs together. And these muscles help support our knees and thereby helping support our balance. If you don't have a block, you can use a rolled up blanket or a firm pillow. We just want a little bit of resistance so that you can feel that pressure drawing inward towards that block or that rolled up blanket. All right, so here standing nice and tall. Take a deep breath in, find some length through the spine. On your exhalation, bring your hands to heart center. Sit your sit bones back and wide into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Knees tracking over the ankles. I'll turn to the side so you can see the side view. So notice my knees aren't jutting forward, really pressurizing those knees in this position. So slide the knees over the ankles, lift all 10 toes, and shifting your weight back into the heels. Lower belly, you guessed it, is lifting in and up. Sit bones are nice and wide behind you. So take a breath into ground. On your exhalation, press into the earth. Come to standing, really squeezing in towards that block or rolled up blanket. Inhale again. Exhale, sit it back into your Utkatasana chair pose. Same as before, knees over the ankles. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Keep moving. Inhale, lift up. Keep squeezing those adductor muscles. Exhale, back into Utkatasana. A few more. Inhale, lift up. Keep squeezing that block. Exhale, back. And one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hold it here. Maybe reach the arms overhead. Your shoulders are feeling it today. Check in with that lower belly. We don't want to scoop that back out too much. Find that gentle engagement, draw the lower belly in and up, and find that length through the entire spine. Maybe sit back a little bit deeper to strengthen those quads. Take one more breath. And as you exhale, slide the hands through the center, coming into a forward fold. Continue to hold onto that block or that rolled up blanket. And see how that feels different from our forward fold that we just did. Now that we have that awareness of those adductor muscles. From here, we'll remove that block or blanket off to the side. Walk your hands forward, step it back into downward facing dog. Take a little movement here, rocking the hips, pedaling out the heels. And in our downward facing dog, let's step our feet wide, wider than we usually do in our down dog. Stepping your feet to the width of your mat. The hands remain where they are. Press back into those legs. Let the sit bones reach back behind you. A little softness through both knees. A widened stance in your down dog is a really nice way to ease back pain. A few more breaths here. From here, we're going to step our feet back in line with the hips in our downward facing dog. Take a breath in to soften. Exhale, right leg lifts high, three-legged dog. Deep breath. On your exhalation, hug the knee in towards the chest, round the upper back. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Inhale to ground. Exhale, press the floor away. Come all the way up to the top into your high lunge, Alanasana. Now from here, notice what's happening with the lower back. Oftentimes, the lower back, when we straighten this left leg, it throws our lower back into a deep curve, which sometimes can be really uncomfortable, especially if you're already experiencing low back pain. So from here, bend that left knee, drop the hips, and notice now that my lower back is no longer in that deep curve. You can keep those hips low and then re-straighten the left leg. If you experience that back pain once again, then soften the knee even more. You can even stay right here. So finding what works for you, arms reaching up towards the sky. Bring your hands to heart center. Begin to lean forward over the right knee. The core is going to engage here to keep us lifted off of that right knee. Now continuing to lean the heart forward, come up onto the left tippy toe. Continue to lean it forward. Pretty soon that left leg will lift. You can also stay here on the left toes, that's totally fine. But if you're here in your warrior three, trying to square that left hip down, keep the right knee soft. Take a breath in, soften that right knee even more. On your exhalation, press the leg straight. Inhale, soften the right knee. Exhale, press it straight. One more time. Inhale, soften. Exhale, press. Lower the hands down to the floor, standing splits. Take a breath in. Exhale, hug the knee into the chest. Bend the elbows, bend the knees. Inhale, re-extend the left leg high. Exhale, draw the knee in, curl into a little ball. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, hug it in. Step your left foot behind your right leg so that the right leg is crossed over the left leg essentially. And from here, walk your hands all the way over to the right. So you'll probably feel that stretch along the outer left hip. Walk your hands back through center, untwist those legs, returning to forward fold. Deep breath in. On your exhalation, slowly roll it up to the top, one vertebra at a time. Arms follow this line of energy. Inhale. Exhale, right back into your forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, really pressing the hands into the knees or upper thighs and reaching the heart forward, bringing the spine into extension. This is another opportunity to build strength in the back body. Deep breath in and exhale. Plant the hands, step it back, downward facing dog. And here you can join me through a vinyasa. These are always optional, so if you're not feeling it today, come into a child's pose or whatever feels supportive for you today in your practice. Deep breath in, soften elbows, soften knees. Exhale, ripple forward through plank pose. Lengthen out nice and strong in your plank. Knees can stay lifted or you can lower them into your diagonal plank, just like we did before. Elbows over wrists, inhale. Exhale, lower part way. Set the hips, belly button, chest down to the floor. Lifting up through baby cobra, or maybe a little higher into teenage cobra, or up into your mama cobra. You can also move into upward facing dog, that's lifting the upper thighs off of the mat. Take a breath in, and on your exhalation, meeting in downward facing dog. And just as we did before, step your feet wide into that wide stance down dog. Reach your tailbone up and back, press through the hands. From here, step your feet hip-width distance apart. Deep breath in, soften. Exhale, left leg lifts this time, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, hug the knee in towards the chest, round under, make some room to step your left foot to your left thumb. Inhale to ground. Exhale, arms reach up to the sky, high lunge, Alanasana. So remember, as before, soften through the back knee. This time it's the right knee. Let that lower back ease up a little bit, dropping the hips down, and then you can kind of test out the waters here, maybe straightening, re-straightening the right leg, or keeping that bend through the back knee. We want to lift up through the side body, nice and strong. And then from here, bring the hands to heart center, lean forward over the left knee. Engage the core to keep you lifting off of that upper thigh. And continue to send the heart forward, coming up onto the right tippy toes. And then pretty soon, maybe that right leg lifts up into your warrior three, squaring the right hip down as much as you can. Take a breath in, soften the left knee even more. This is where we're building strength in the knee joint and the quads. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale to straighten. One more time, inhale. Exhale, straighten. Lower the hands down to the floor, standing splits. Take a breath in. Exhale, hug the knee in towards the chest, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Inhale, re-extend the right leg high. Exhale, bring everything into the center. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze that knee into the center. And we'll step the right foot behind the left leg this time. Take a breath in, wave the spine long. This time on your exhalation, walk your hands over to the left side of your mat. And then here, maybe feeling that stretch on the outer right hip and the IT band. Walking your hands back through center, untwist your legs, forward fold. Inhale, soften. Exhale, press into the ears, slowly roll up to the top. Reaching the arms to the sky. Maybe a little bit of a back bend here. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Take a moment here in Tadasana to come back to the breath, come back to your intention. So from here, you're welcome to cycle through a vinyasa, or just simply come into downward facing dog when you're ready. No rush. So from your downward facing dog, take a deep breath in to soften. Exhale, right leg lifts up to the sky, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, hug the knee in towards the chest, round under, but this time, instead of stepping our foot all the way forward, we're just gonna simply drop the right foot underneath the belly button. Turn all 10 toes to face the long right side of your mat, coming onto the blade edge of your left foot. This is called Cleopatra pose. We're gonna take our right hand to the right hip and lift the right side body high. And creating that nice rainbow shape with the body. Keep breathing, pressing actively down through the left hand. Keep some softness through the left elbow. One more breath here, lift the hips a little bit higher. And unwind, bring your right hand down. Turn to face the front of your mat. Step your right foot up the rest of your way into your low lunge. Pivot your left heel down. Take a breath and wave the spine long. Exhale, walk your hands to the long left side of your mat. Coming into your wide-legged forward fold, flaring the toes out, heels draw in slightly. You can walk your hands forward here. Pressing back through the hands into the length of the spine. This is like another variation of our wide-legged down dog. From here, walking the hands underneath the shoulders. Left hand remains underneath the left shoulder. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Take a breath and wave the spine long. On your exhalation, begin to turn your heart towards the right. You can stay right here or maybe extend the right arm up to the sky. Keep the crown of the head reaching forward and the tailbone reaching back behind you. Twisting from the upper part of the back. Inhale. On your exhalation, circle down and around, right hand underneath the right shoulder this time. Left hand comes to the left hip. Take a breath and wave the spine long. Exhale, circle the left shoulder up, heart facing the left side this time. And again, you can stay here, extend your left arm up. Reaching again through the crown of the head. It's like you're lengthening in opposite directions. Take a breath here. Exhale, bring your left hand down. Bring your heels in, flare the toes out. Take a breath to ground. On your exhalation, press into the earth, reaching to the sky. Now on your exhalation, bend the elbows, bend the knees, sliding your thumbs to heart center. On your next breath in, press into the feet, reach the hands up to the sky. And again, exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale. Lower it down, pausing here, plugging the thumbs into your heartbeat. Lift the heart into the thumbs, looping the shoulders onto the back, and sit down into those hips. Tracking the knees over the pinky toes so that we're engaging the outer thighs. And see if you can stay lifted here. So a lot of times here in our goddess temple pose, we tend to kind of like drop the heart down and send the hips back. See if you can tilt the heart up and drop the hips straight down. Taking one more breath here, see if you can lower a little bit more. Beautiful, and release, come back into straight legs. Turn your toes forward, bring your hands to your hips. Take a breath in, find some length through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, walk your hands to frame the right foot. Coming into a low lunge. From here, step your left foot up next to the right, forward fold. Take a breath into ground. Exhale, slowly roll up. Now what we're gonna do here is take our right knee with us. Keep that left foot pressing down into the earth, slowly coming up to the top. From here, turn your right knee out to the side, setting up for tree pose, but this is a variation where we're floating the right foot outside of the left thigh versus planting a foot there. We'll make it there soon, but for now we're gonna find the floating version. All right, so from here, take a breath. Find your balance. We're really engaging the right hip flexor to keep that leg lifted. Let's bring our hands to heart center just to take that out of the equation. And from here, we'll take a side bend. So take a breath in, Reach the arms overhead, and as you do so, step your right foot back behind you and circle your right wrist with your left fingers and stretch over to the left. So see, we're creating this curve of the spine, stretching out the right side body. Then unwind, come back through center into your floating tree pose. And then we'll move through those two shapes. Inhale, reach. Exhale, come back through center, floating tree. And again, reach up and over to the left. And come back to your floating tree. Pausing here. Now you can place your right foot inside that inner left thigh. Or if you're not there today, maybe sliding your foot down below the knee joint or bringing the toes down to the floor. Find what works best for you. Stay here for a few deep breaths. When you're ready, go ahead and release the right leg, shake it out a little bit, and we'll work our way to the other side. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, downward facing. Take a breath to ground. Exhale, ripple forward, plank pose. Knees up or down, take a breath. Exhale, lower part way. Hips, belly button, chest, come all the way down onto the belly. Bring the backs of the hands on the earth, just like we did in our warm-up today. And coming into our locust pose. So this is a great way to strengthen the back body. Take a breath in, peel the chest up off of the mat. If you're feeling a high five with both hands or high 10. And then if you want to, check in with that lower back, see how it's doing. Maybe lift the legs as well. It doesn't have to be super high here. Good. Keep breathing into the belly. Build those muscles. And let everything release. Bring your hands alongside the rib cage. Press into tabletop. Tuck your toes, lifting the hips high. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it go with a deep sigh. Inhale to soften. Exhale, left leg lifts this time. Three-legged dog, deep breath. On your exhalation, hug the knee in towards the chest, round under. But just as before, we're gonna drop the left foot right underneath the belly button. Turn all 10 toes to face the long left side of your mat, coming onto the blade edge of that right foot. Bring your left hand to your left hip in our side plank or supported side plank or Cleopatra pose, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it Cleopatra pose because it's kind of fun. But we're lifting that left hip up high again, creating that rainbow shape with the body. And find some lightness through that right elbow. We're not pressing super hard into that arm, but keep some lightness there to protect the shoulder. Keep breathing. Lift a little bit higher. Beautiful. And release. Turn to face the front of your mat. Step your left foot up the rest of the way for your low lunge. Pivoting your right heel down. Take a breath and wave the spine long. Exhale, walk your hands to the long right side of your mat. Wide-legged forward fold. So again, just find a little movement here, maybe bending into one knee and then the other. Returning through center. Flare your toes out, heels draw in. Take a breath to ground. On your exhalation, press into the earth, slowly roll it to the top. And on your exhalation, bend your elbows, bend your knees. So lifting the chest up in your goddess temple, tracking the knees over the pinky toes. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring your elbow to your knee over to the right. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center, over to the left. One more on each side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Last one, inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Beautiful. Come back through center. Bring your hands to heart center. Woo, feeling those quads working hard. Maybe sink a little bit deeper into the hips. Inhale, extend. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn your toes to face forward. Take a breath in, wave the spine long. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, walk your hands to frame your left foot. Step your right foot up to meet the left, forward fold at the top of your mat. Take a breath into ground. On your exhalation, keep your right foot planted. We'll take our left knee with us this time as we slowly roll up to the top. Slide your hands to heart center as you pivot your left knee out to the side, finding our floating tree pose. Take a breath in, and slowly we'll sweep the left leg behind. Circle your left wrist with your right fingertips and stretch it over to the right side, creating that curve of the body. Inhale, come back through center, sliding your hands to your heart center. Find your floating tree. I know it's tempting to plant that foot into the thigh, but keep it floating. Engage that hip flexor. And then again, sweep it back. Step that left leg back behind the right. Reach up and over to the right. And again, come back through center. Float that left knee, that left foot. And again, stretch over to the right. Beautiful. Come back through center. And now we can plant our foot in the inner right thigh. We can stay high on that right leg or down below, just as long as it's not on that right knee joint. We don't ever want to press our knee joint outward. Knees do not like that. They like to move forward and back. It's a hinge joint, so we don't want to put any pressure on the knee. So anywhere along the leg, just as long as it's not on the knee joint. And I'll stay here for a few deep breaths. When you're ready, release, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. And you can move through vinyasa if you want to. Again, those are always optional. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, downward facing dog. Here you can continue with your vinyasa, or just simply come onto the knees into a child's pose. On your next breath in, come up into your tabletop pose. Lift your right footprint up to the sky. Keep the lower belly firm. Soften the elbows, lift your gaze forward, shine your heart through as you press your footprint up a little bit higher. Exhale, press into the floor, hug the knee into the chest. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Come up to kneeling. We want our legs to be in 90-degree angles here. Take your hands behind the back and press gently forward and down with the hands. This will help create some traction in the lower back. Keep pressing down through that right heel and down through the left knee. Lift the heart forward. Taking one more deep breath here. Releasing the hands. Frame your right foot. Pick up your left knee. Step your left knee behind your right leg. And come all the way to seated. Wiggle your feet out just a little bit so that those sit bones can settle down in between. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Exhale, twist to the right. Bring your right fingertips behind the back. Hug your knee in, or maybe take that left elbow outside of the right knee. Now, be mindful here. Sometimes when we take our elbow outside of the knee, we want to push. There's a tendency to kind of like want to crank into this twist a little bit more, but that can be really taxing in the lower back. So instead, if you're feeling like you're pushing a little too much here, then come back to this variation. You'll still get the benefit of the twist. Press down through the sit bones, down through the right fingertips. Lift a little bit higher through the crown of the head and maybe take your gaze over the right shoulder. Take one more breath here. On your exhalation, slowly unwind, come back through center. Untangle the legs and bring them out in front of you. First, starting with the feet flat onto the floor, bring your hands behind the knees. Lean it back, scoop that lower back in and up, and maintaining here, bring the calves parallel to the floor. Now you can stay here with the hands or maybe extend them forward for Navasana. And just play around here with this shape. And take a few deep breaths here, maybe working towards straightening the legs a little bit more. But check in, keep checking in with that lower back anytime it kind of dumps outward. Reset if you need to, maybe even coming back to those feet on the floor so that you can safely lengthen the spine back out into your Navasana pose. Check in with the shoulders, the jaw. Crossing at the ankles, rock it forward, and returning to our tabletop pose for the other side. This time we'll lift our left footprint up to the sky, keep the lower belly firm. Soften through the elbows, shine your heart forward, lift that footprint up a little bit higher. Exhale, scoop the knee underneath, round under, create some room to step your left foot to your left thumb. We'll come up to that half kneeling pose. Again, our legs are in 90-degree angles. Bring your hands back behind you to press down, kind of where your sacrum is, that diamond-shaped lower back area. Press forward and gently down. And the rest of the body is playing a part as well. So we want to press down through that left heel and down through the right knee, engaging the legs. Releasing your hands, frame your left foot, pick up your right knee, step your right knee behind your left leg, coming all the way to seated. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Exhale, twist to the left this time. Left fingertips come behind the back. Again, play around with your right arm, maybe just keeping that knee hugging in, or checking out how this feels by bringing your right elbow outside of the left knee. That creates a little bit more leverage, but again, be careful with that. We don't ever want to crank our back into a place where it doesn't want to be. But if you are here comfortably, maybe take a mudra, lifting and lengthening through the spine, and see how your neck feels about casting your gaze over your left shoulder. One more breath here. On your exhalation, unwind, come back through center. Shift back onto the sit bones, untangle the legs, planting your feet on the ground, scooping your hands behind the knees. Lift through the heart, lengthen through the spine, and lean it back. Begin to find that engagement through the abdominals. And when you're ready, you can lift the legs. By the way, you don't have to lift the legs. You can stay right here if this feels nice and supportive for you. But if you want to, you can add on by lifting the legs, maybe releasing the hands. Keep the heart shining forward. Back body is nice and strong and lengthened. From here, we'll lower gently all the way onto the back. Just see if you can hold on to this as you come all the way down. Whew, lengthen out through the arms. Take a full body stretch here. From here, keep your left leg long. Keep your right leg, interlacing the fingers behind the right thigh. Giving the right leg a nice stretch. Flex the toes back towards you. Press the heel up towards the sky. And here you can play around with the placement of the hands. Sliding the hands up the leg can deepen the stretch for the hamstring, but I'm going to stay here today behind the right thigh. Continuing to drive that heel up. And the left leg here is quite active too. So the left heel is planting down into the floor, left toes are pointing up to the sky. Now to get into the right knee, bend at your knee. So again, creating that 90-degree angle. Point the toes, and we'll draw a circle here 3 times using the knee joint. We want to rotate from the knee, okay? So from here, we'll take a circle clockwise. That's 1, 2, and 3. Pause here. And going the opposite direction, counterclockwise. 1, 2, and 3. And back through center. Bend the left knee, flex the right toes once again, placing the outer right ankle on top of the left knee for our supine pigeon. Initially starting out with pressing the right knee away from you and keeping those right toes active. Because if we're just kind of lazy with the right foot, that can actually put some pressure on the knees because the tendons will tend to lengthen out if we're stretching out through the toes. So go ahead and give the knee a little bit of a break here by flexing the toes and shortening these tendons here. Use your right hand to press the knee away from you. And you can stay here or maybe thread the right hand through that triangle, reach around for the left knee, hugging the knee in towards the belly. And then here, just checking in with those toes. All 10 toes are active and bright. Releasing the left knee, slide that right leg over the left even more and hug both knees in towards the chest. Now you can let the feet relax a little bit here. Keep the rest of the body neutral. Release the legs. Keep the right leg across over the left, arms extending out to a T. Deep breath in. On your exhalation, tumble the legs over to the left. Now, if you find that this twist is not feeling good on your back, then go ahead and untangle the legs. Maybe place a block or a blanket in between the knees for a little more support. But if you're fine here, go ahead and keep that twist, keeping the gaze up towards the sky or casting your gaze over your right shoulder. On your next breath in, return everything back through center. Untangle the legs, maybe take another full body stretch here. Keeping the right leg long, hug the left knee in. Reaching around for the left thigh, interlacing the fingers, pressing the left heel up, keeping everything active by pressing the heel up towards the sky. Right leg is long. And again, you can kind of play around with the placement of the hands, maybe sliding it up towards the calf for a deeper stretch. From here, bending at the knee, again, creating that 90-degree angle, pointing the toes, and we'll draw those circles with the knee. So make sure that you're moving from the knee joint and not just the ankle joint, okay? So from here, we'll take a circle over to the right and up to the left for 1, 2, and 3. Now moving counterclockwise over to the left. 1, 2, and 3. Bend through the right knee, flex through the toes, placing the outer left ankle on top of the right knee. And again, just initially using your left hand to press that knee away. Staying here, thread that left hand through that triangle, reaching around for the right shin or behind the right knee, either way. And all 10 toes are bright and shiny. Releasing the right knee, slide the left leg over the right, hugging both knees in towards the belly. Releasing the legs, extend the arms out to a T, take a breath. Exhale, tumble the legs over to the right. Again, modify as needed. If your body doesn't like this twist, then find something that does. You can keep your gaze lifted or cast over your left shoulder. Your next breath in, return back through center, untangling the legs, coming into a supported bridge pose. Hands come alongside the hips. If you have a block or a bolster or maybe a stack of blankets, go ahead and grab those and we'll slide them underneath the hips. I'm going to grab my block over here, lifting the hips up just enough so that that block or whatever you've got for a little extra lift for your supported bridge here. And you can stay right here. This is a lovely way to reset the back body. But another nice relaxing pose to practice here is to lift the knees over the hips, or even extend the legs up to the sky. You can practice this pose against the wall too, legs up the wall, aptly named. But whatever you've got, maybe just coming into a nice gentle inversion so that the legs are higher than the heart. Just finding some weightlessness here, maybe turning the feet on the ankles. Another thing I like to do here is to reach the arms to the sky and just let that energy flow down into the shoulders, turning the hands on the wrists. Making sure you go in both directions. Back through center. Float the hands back down beside you and let the knees drop into the chest a little bit. Lowering the feet down to the floor. And you can stay right here. This is a really lovely pose to practice because the spine is supported. But if you want to add on a little bit, I would recommend using a block for this next little section here. So you can stay here with a block on its lowest setting, or maybe lift it up to its mid-height, or maybe even depending on your back flexibility, coming up to its highest height. If those don't feel good, then don't do it. But if you're here, whichever height you are with your block, begin to inch your heels back towards you. So maybe the heels tend to lift off of the ground a little bit, and those ankles are behind the knees. Keep your gaze lifted here, by the way. We don't want to be turning the head when our neck is in this position. It's not great on the neck. So make sure you have lots of space between your chin and your chest, and you can breathe freely. Or if you're jabbering on like I do, you can do so with ease. Now here you can stay or begin to press the heels down towards the floor. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe not. but we're just working in that direction. You might find that you create a little bit more length and spaciousness in the lower back. And then plus you get the bonus of getting into the quads and the hip flexors, the fronts of the hips. And staying here as long as you'd like. Not letting go the control of your breath just yet. Ready. Then to release from your supported bridge, whatever that was for you today. You can remove your block, your bolster, whatever you had, and slowly begin to roll down one vertebra at a time. Once the entire length of the spine is on the ground, hug both knees into the belly, gentle rock from side to side. Taking any final movements here that you'd like before moving into your Shavasana pose. And as you make your way into your Shavasana, it might be nice to have something underneath your knees like a bolster or rolled up blanket so that your knees can be slightly bent as you come all the way down onto the back for Shavasana. We did all that work today to create that strength and that length in the spine. So we don't want to undo it right now, right? So maybe a little bend through the knees, but please find whatever feels best for you for your Shavasana. Take up some space. Let go of all effort. Allow the breath to settle into its own natural rhythm. Releasing the jaw. Part the back teeth. Soften over the forehead. Down over the temples. And allow even the eyes to relax. And fall away from the eyelids. Finding a place inside that knows peace. back into your body. Deepen the breath. And in your own time, begin to welcome gentle movement into the fingers and toes. Gently rock the head from side to side. Taking any larger movements here, maybe stretching arms overhead, or reaching from the tips of the fingers to the ends of the toes, yawning to release the jaw. Slowly making your way over to one side to rest the head on your arm, tucking the knees into your chest. And spending a few moments here of stillness to reconnect with your intention. And slowly making your way all the way up to seated. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.